She is so pushy. He lives in La La Land. I can't stand it when somebody is two-faced. They must be punctuality challenged. I think me, I'm punctuality challenged though. I'm reading a book. So I want to send this book to my sister, but I also want to read it. So I'm thinking that I'll just read it first and then send it to her because I don't fully trust the Nigerian postal system. So in case it never gets to her, like, let me just read it so that, like, at least knowledge will be in my head, so that in case she never reads it, it won't be a waste. Like, it won't be as if, like, the book is just completely lost in some kind of abyss. Do you get? So that's why I'm reading the book. I don't think it's taken me too long to finish this book. I got this from the Sacramento bookshop, and there are others. I think I got 3 or 4, and this one is Elf Help for Dealing with Difficult People. I got one on acceptance therapy. What was the other one I got? Confidence therapy, I think. There was one on friendship, but I don't think I actually got it. I think I looked at it, but I dropped it back. If you weren't so wishy-washy, you'd take a stand on this. He doesn't do a thing to help and then hogs all the glory. Some people are just plain difficult, or at least we have difficulty dealing with them. They get on our nerves and bring out our worst. We spend inordinate amounts of time and energy wrestling with the anger they arouse in us. We can't avoid life's bad guys. We live, work, socialize, and share public spaces with them. Telling them off is almost always counterproductive, as is holding a grudge. What recourse do we have? Enter the little elves in this book. Follow their footsteps to learn what works and what doesn't work in dealing with the villains in your life. Along the way, you'll pick up some tips on appreciating differences and exploring your own shadow side. With a bit of practice, you'll be empowered to bring peace and harmony to your problem relationships. And yes, you could just casually leave this little book lying around. Perhaps a certain difficult person will benefit from it too. Number 1, when people rub us the wrong way, it causes friction. At home, on the road, across the cubicles and the bleachers. For the sake of inner peace and the communal good, we need to find a way to deal with difficult people. With divine wisdom, imagination, and humor, the Creator cast each one of us as an individual. Difference is sometimes difficult to understand. Remember, you are different too. Explore your own personality type and usual style of thinking and acting as well as others. Appreciate the interesting differences among you. Okay, that's quite profound. Each of us looks at the world out of our own mindset, but none of us is the norm. The poster person for perfect conduct or the exemplar of excellence. Keep an open mind. If we repeatedly have the same difficulty with people, we need to consider whether we are somehow contributing to it. Ask a good friend, to help you identify behavior on your part that may be problematic. Wow, this book is deep. We often dislike in others what we reject in ourselves. What parts of yourself do you have trouble accepting? Befriend this shadow side of yourself. You are not what someone else decides you are. As Eleanor Roosevelt has said, no one can make you feel small without your consent. Don't buy into someone's mistaken judgment of you. You are only what God says you are, not what someone decides you are. Every time an aggravating person pops into your head, pray, God bless you. Wish that person well. Pray too for yourself, for patience, understanding, and compassion. Accept the truth that no matter how good of a person you are, some people will never understand you or like you, sometimes for reasons that have nothing to do with you at all. Ask yourself, will this conflict matter 5 years from now? How much energy do I want to invest in it? What would happen if I just let it go? Give the benefit of the doubt. Is this person having a bad day or going through a tough time? Could there be some misunderstanding? Is this the first incident or have there been others? If the offensive behavior occurs only occasionally, you may want to step back and give the person a little latitude. If the behavior is chronically bothersome, then you probably need to take steps toward addressing it. "16. Focus on the problem rather than the person. Try not to judge or analyze character or motivation. It's not up to us to reform other people or improve their character. The biblical admonition to turn the other cheek does not mean we should continually overlook hostile, abusive, or threatening behavior. It is possible to assert your rights in a loving way. Being afraid of another's anger gives that person power over you. Each of us is responsible for his own anger, however. You cannot make someone else angry. Withstand the blast if necessary and control your own temper. Ask before you accuse. What you feel is an attack may simply be a misunderstanding. Since no one can read another's mind or motive, don't assume malice. There may be a simple explanation you have overlooked. Speak gently from your heart, saying only what you know to be true, the facts and your feelings about them. Blaming or accusing or using abusive language will only put the other person on the defensive. Those are really good. I feel like I'm going through this too quickly. 21. State simply, directly, and calmly. When you blank, I feel blank because blank. What can we do about this? If you feel yourself getting out of control, count to 10 or 1000 if need be. Breathe deeply to regain your composure. If you still feel that positive communication is not possible, postpone further discussion till later. It is not as important to prove that you are right as to behave rightly. The goal is not to dominate or defeat, but to arrive at a mutually acceptable solution. Look at this. Really listen to the other person's point of view. People are much more likely to be receptive to change if they first feel understood. It's a really interesting book when you consider how God says we should be merciful, like our Father is merciful, and so like it's forgiveness is not something that we can do by ourselves. Forgiveness is not something that comes like easily to anybody, and it's when you look at the Bible where where God actually told the disciples to forgive 70 times, 7 times, they later on said, like, God increase our faith, because without faith, without the grace of God, forgiveness is extremely difficult. It's not something that can be done by human effort. It takes the grace of God. Forgiveness is not instantaneous. It's a many-layered process as we gradually let go of hurt, pride, and bitterness. The Bible says to forgive 77 times, maybe even for the same injury. We can obsess over a difficult relationship so much that we create a destructive spiral of rage, overreaction, and stress. Take time each day to center yourself and renew your spirit. Discharge excess adrenaline with exercise or your favorite form of relaxation. Try to obliterate the problem from your mind for 24 hours. Give your stress a rest. Difficult people may be God's way of teaching us patience, tolerance, and loving assertiveness. Stretch your heart and grow. If you're like a people pleaser, for example, and you have to deal with difficult people, it may be God's way of teaching you how to assert yourself lovingly and not just be like, let anything go. God knows it's hard to deal with some people, yet God is with us in our struggles, giving us the courage to work toward change and the serenity to accept the outcome. That is so beautiful. This is a very deep, packed book. Like, this book is packed. It's so deep. I finished reading it at a go, which is really encouraging. Like, I'm happy that I finished reading this book. But yeah, at the same time, I feel like I should read it again. Like, this is actually a really cute self-help book. So cute, so fast, so easy to read. I didn't pay attention to the illustrations as much because I was just trying to read the book. But I like that it does have illustrations, makes it much like easy to follow along. I think this could work for someone of any age because, like, well, I'm like nearly 30 and I was reading things in here that I've not heard before. Like, I found some new things in here and it really spoke to me. I feel like it could speak to like early people in their early 20s. It could speak to people in their late 20s. It could speak to people like teenagers. I think maybe older kids too, like secondary schoolers. But yeah, it's just very easy to follow along with and it's so packed. So packed. It finished so quickly, but I feel like I need to read it again to really digest what's in here. Dealing with difficult people means casting away your pride and putting on your humility. It's about being meek. And it's not about being a doormat, but it's about with humility asserting yourself, but also being gentle and kind and loving enough not to act out in anger and having that self-control and discipline to respond not with an overreaction or like a very reactively, but to respond with temperance, love, kindness, self-control, de-escalate the situation instead of exasperating the situation, you know, which is not easy to do, but with the tips in this book, it makes it like, it just gives you like a starting point, really. So I'm gonna read this again tomorrow when I am, you know, more awake. But I really did enjoy this book, and yeah, I'm happy that I got this. I feel like my sister will enjoy it. I feel like my mom will enjoy it too. So yeah, I hope that it actually gets to them. I think that's the end of this video. I don't think I have anything else to say aside from this book was really nice, and if you can, you should get your hands on it and read it. Bye.